The Life Sciences Sector Skill Development Council is giving an impetus to the Skill India mission by imparting fresh sector-specific skills to the youth of India and subsequently facilitating placements.
LSSSDC is a national-wide certificate which is helpful for getting a job in a pharma sectors. Initially, we held a training in a Swarna Bharati Trust for 3 months. After the completion of a 3 months training, we got a employment in Granules India Limited.
3 महीने का हमने IIST कड़ी कॉलेज में ट्रेनिंग लिया था और LSSSDC का सर्टिफिकेट कोर्स था, वो हमने क्लियर किया है और वो सर्टिफिकेट हमको फ्यूचर में बहुत काम में आएगा और वो फ्यूचर में हमारे करियर का ग्रोथ बढ़ाने के लिए भी अच्छा है.
The recognition of prior learning is another effective tool that helps recognize and enhance the existing skill sets.
I have a certificate with LSSSDC and I have a knowledge to develop myself in pharma field.
Reddy's as a company welcomes the employment of RPL certified professionals, and we will continue this journey to make sure that all the existing workforce is certified.
Many pharma industries have joined hands with the Life Sciences Sector Skill Development Council for in-house fresh skilling, helping the skilling network grow from strength to strength. As part of the government Skill India campaign, the Life Sciences Sector Skill Development Council is continually engaged in preparing a skilled workforce to strengthen India's global presence.
The Indian life sciences sector is today touted to be pharmacy of the world. Why? Because India exports to something like 240 plus countries around the world. And we, in the Life Sciences Sector Skill Development Council, have been mandated to take care of the skill shortfalls in the sector.
The private sector is actively associated with the Life Sciences Sector Skill Development Council and plays a significant role in the process of skilling manpower.
Life Sciences Sector Skill Council has been at the forefront of engaging with the private sector in several ways. Starting with the governing body itself, in terms of the people represented on the governing council are almost 9 industry associations, which comprise all the 3 sectors of the life sciences.
Our MOU with the Life Sciences Skill Sector Development Council is aimed to take the national skill mission even beyond and further. By strengthening the national standards, curriculum, content, and training of trainers.
With the first of its kind 3D shop floor simulation for a practical training experience, the Life Sciences Skill Council is all set to scale new heights in skill training.
Namaskar. We are here with our next episode of Good Morning Bharat. Today we do have one of the adorable personality, Mr. Ranjit Madan, who is the CEO of Life Sciences Sector Skill Council in Skill Industry. Thank you so much, sir. It's our indeed pleasure to have you with us today.
Pleasure, Vishali.
Thank you, sir. So we would like to go ahead with few set of questions for which we want your views to share with us today.
Sure, look forward.
Thank you so much. So our first question is, what are the main objectives of this Sector Skill Council and how this SSC has created an impact in the skill industry?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for inviting me to this session.
Thank you.
Before I start, let me just mention 2 or 3 key features about the sector which this council represents.
Okay.
So this council was set up some 6 years ago with the specific objective of addressing the skill shortfalls in the life sciences sector, which is defined as pharmaceuticals, biopharmaceuticals, and contract research. In other words, it focuses on the spectrum of from drug research up to the point that the drugs or the pharmaceuticals are introduced for use in the healthcare sector, namely the doctors, the clinics, the hospitals, etc. Whereupon that becomes the healthcare sector. Now, a couple of important facets of this sector which are crucial are that, number one, as you can well understand, this is a sector that is so inextricably linked to human life.
Yeah.
So all of us, my team, myself, my team members, all of us have to be very cognizant of the fact that everything that we do must have quality first, second, third, and everything else follows thereafter.
Yeah.
The second aspect is that, and all of us should be proud of it, that India today exports to some 240 countries around the world. 1 in every 3 tablets manufactured around the world is made in India. 1 in every 3 vaccines given to children around the world is made in India. 70% of the vaccine capacity globally is in India, and that's why India is called the pharmacy to the world. So any action of ours affects not just human beings in the country, but humanity.
Yes, sir.
The other aspect is that although volume-wise, it may be a comparatively low volume sector, but in terms of its priority, it is one of the top 5 high priority sectors as put out by the NITI Aayog. So there is a burden of responsibility in everything that we do, that we must keep all these features in mind as we go forward. Now, as we look back over the journey that we have accomplished, I think we have set benchmarks in quality as we must. And this shows itself up in the quality of the qualification packs, the curriculum, the content that has been developed, the kind of train-the-trainer programs that we conduct, the kind of assessment modules, the robust assessment modules with industry-validated question banks that we have put out. Those are something that I think we have, in a sense, become flag bearers of. The other aspect that I'd like to highlight is the phenomenal industry connect that we have forged today, which I think is, again, that puts us or differentiates us from the rest, and perhaps others can look upon as something that really needs to be achieved. And I'll come to the features of that in due course, I'm sure. And finally is the kind of bonds that we have forged with key stakeholders, which is both the line ministries, which is the Department of Biotechnology. It is the drug controller that is responsible for quality of pharmaceutical products in India. So the kind of connect that we have forged with these line ministries, as indeed with key pharma academia segments. Because unless we carry all the stakeholders with us, I don't think we can strive and be claimants to the fact that we have achieved convergence and synergy. So I think these are the things that really we would like to sort of highlight, and I think which are very crucial in all of the skilling agenda that we talk about.
It's really good to know like your sector skill council works more on the quality basis, and it's that's why the ranking of this specific sector is very high in the skill industry. So the other question we would like to ask you that what are the highlighted achievements and the future plans in life sciences sector skill council?
Yeah, that's a very sort of widespread question. So let me try to cover at least some of the facets of it. And some of these, as you can imagine, are linked to what you had previously asked of me. So as I mentioned, it's very crucial for us, and we have ensured working with the industry And this translates itself into industry involvement in great depth in every aspect of the skilling chain, which is starting from development of the qualification packs, the curriculum and content that we have developed, all of which is with industry input and industry validated. In fact, even going a step backward in the detailed skill gap study that we did, which covered every segment of the industry. So today we have a very precise idea of the number of job roles, what kind of clusters are there to be found in, what's the growth rate of each of those major job roles, what are the soft and hard skills that the industry demands from them, and so on. Because these are the foundations on which the skilling policy it has to be formed.
Okay.
The second aspect is the close working with the Drug Controller's Office and the Department of Biotechnology, etc. So let me just give you an example of Department of Biotechnology.
Yeah.
Today, the DBT is utilizing our NSQF laid QPs and curriculum and content for their short-term training amongst at least 10 colleges. And also more recently, they put out what's known as the Skill Vigyan program, in which all institutions around the country who would like to join hands with the DBT, they have been invited, and all of it will be as per our laid down NSQF curriculum content QPs. And numerous applications have been received. This was for the date ended 30th of August. I think almost 200 institutions around the country have put in applications. Then again, the favored stream of academia for this sector is the pharmacy.
Okay.
And that's B Pharma, M Pharma, D Pharma candidates. And I think here we've done something which is really could be a game changer with the Pharmacy Council of India, that is responsible for all pharma education. Their president coming on board a year ago on our governing body, and having announced that starting this academic session, all pharma courses will have our skilling modules introduced in the curriculum. So in B Pharma, for example, as many as 9 skilling modules will be available for electives to be selected by the candidates. And importantly, the scores of these electives will count towards the overall score of the B Pharma. And finally, all B Pharma candidates will be encouraged to take up apprenticeship. So with electives, skilling module electives, and apprenticeship, really the world of pharmacy education will be brought closer together to industry. And I do believe that the closer the industry works with academia, the better will be the skilling that will come about. In fact, I would go to the extent of saying that one of the reasons why India has languished compared to some of the other countries around the world in skilling is because the world of pharma, the world of academia and education have been working in silos. So it's the responsibility of the council, and we've taken the lead to bring the two together. Then I would like to highlight that ours is a manufacturing sector, and some of the skilling modules obviously required very high capex, capital expenditure, because the kind of equipment that's needed for pharma skilling is a very expensive proposition. To overcome this, we are the first and only council to have very successfully launched the simulation-based skilling modules, just like a pilot undergoes skilling through a simulator. We have introduced for the manufacturing job roles and a virtual reality simulated skilling module, and this was introduced first in Hyderabad by the Honorable Vice President Shri Venkaiah Naidu. This was somewhere in March of 18, and today about 8 such simulation-based labs are set up in the major clusters of pharma, and more are expected to be launched. Then apprenticeship. Now, apprenticeship, we do believe, and I think it's not debatable, is the best way to skill people, the best way to give exposure to candidates to practical working. And ever since we were interested in this task just over a year ago, about a year and a half or 2 years, we have been very much in the forefront. By far the leading skill council in manufacturing side when it comes to apprenticeship. And today we are proud to say that in just over a year or year and a half, we have triggered some 11,000 apprenticeship contracts across the major job roles, which are about 20 in number. And importantly, some 250 companies have been onboarded in the NAPS apprenticeship program. We then, I can say, also can boast of a very good placement rate. And these have been rising consistently. We started with some 7% placement rate. Today we are over 70%. And it just goes to show how consistently our what we have been offering is recognized as true value by the industry. And these and this year, last year we placed some 8,000 numbers. Today, this year we hope to place over 10,000, and these are across industry with some of the biggest names participating. That's of importance. Also, 2 years ago, when last the NSDC put out numbers, we had the highest average salary. I believe that still holds. And the highest salary is from our sector. So I think this is something that the candidates who wish to join our sector should be happy to know about.
Yes, sir.
Yet again, not to miss out on those who are currently working. With them, we have engaged them in the RPL program, recognition of prior learning, assessment and certification of the currently employed workforce, as you might be aware. And I think over the couple of years, we have done close to 60,000 RPL, which for a low volume sector like ours is a very significant number. And then centers of excellence. We have today 5 centers of excellence, rather 6 centers of excellence. And these are involving some of the biggest names in the industry. For example, Zydus, Microlabs, McLeod, Granules. Centers of excellence represent benchmarks in quality. And I do believe that unless and until the biggest names who have the resources in terms of infrastructure, in terms of cutting edge technology, unless they are involved closely, you truly cannot have the best and the highest benchmarks. So we are very proud of the fact that all our centers of excellence involved the biggest names in the industry. And finally, in today's COVID situation, it was very important for us to look at e-modules. So again, with the involvement of industry, we were very quickly off the block, and 3 e-modules were already launched in June. More are coming up, so that we don't languish whilst skilling activity is not able to take place in the traditional classroom approach. So these are some of the things that we have been doing, which I believe we can say are achievements. Now, the other part was the other part was the plans for the future. So, first of all, let me say that we can't look, that's my belief, we can't look too far out into the future. Why do I say it? Because of the very fast pace at which things are changing. You'd agree with me, possibly, we don't even know what's going to be happening in the next month or 2 months from now. How will the COVID numbers go? Will a vaccine be found in 2 months or in the longer time frame? How will skilling activity be performed? Will it come back to the traditional mode? Will it be purely in the e-module mode? Will it be a hybrid? I mean, I'm just giving you some few facets. There are hundreds of questions and uncertainties. But I would like to state that couple of things that are going to be happening, and as far as our skill council and our sector is concerned, and these are linked to what we have been doing, but we will now be taking them forward with greater scale and speed, and taking them to completion and beyond. And these are just to name a few. First, with Pharmacy Council of India, as soon as their activity starts, we will ensure that our skilling modules are available for offer and are taken up together with apprenticeship, bringing, as I said, the world of academia closer to industry, and which I believe is one of the greatest weaknesses that exist in the Indian economy, and one of the greatest weaknesses of skilling. That will be strengthened certainly in our sector. Secondly, we'll be looking forward to many more big names in the industry joining us for more centers of excellence. My vision is that every major cluster, and we have about 6 tier 1 clusters, 6 tier 2 clusters. So, by the way, tier 1 clusters take up 65% of the life sciences activity. Add to it tier 2, that goes up to 90%. So 90% of the skill sciences activity is in a dozen clusters. So I would like in each of these clusters at least a center of excellence involving industry. Thirdly, we would wish to enlarge our current coverage, which is with the help of Department of Biotechnology, which is currently focused on biopharma. And the Department of Biotechnology, in fact, this goes to a meeting I had with the Secretary, Ministry of or Department of Biotechnology, Madam Renu Swarup, and she stated that she'd like our council to actually cover the entire biotechnology spectrum, not just biopharma. So we have put that in motion. It's it involves various ministry segments. We hope that we can get the approval very quickly. We are following up on that, and no sooner that can happen, no sooner we get the green light, I would like us to be covering the entire spectrum of biotechnology. And finally, taking off from our successful introduction of e-modules, we would like to expand that to all our major job roles. We've started with 1 or 2 job roles, and we want to take up all the major job roles, which means almost 20 of them. And also, even if we come back to a more normal situation, I do believe that for scale and speed, a hybrid model will be here to stay. So converting the e-modules into hybrid modules. So these are some of the plans in the immediate future that we have. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for putting a light on the things very specifically as you told us. So the other thing we would like to ask, as you mentioned, like Life Sciences Sector Skill Council is having a very good connect with the industry partners. So we would like to know what are the primary requirements and the basic expectations of those industry partners from the trainees at the time of recruitment drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me first just take a step back, because I think it's very crucial. Right
Yes,
from
sir.
the inception, we were very clear that our connect with industry should be strong. It should be a benchmark,
Yeah.
and also it should be all the entire industry from small, medium, and large. It should cover the industry by origin, be it of foreign origin, be it Indian, and it should cover all the segments that we are obviously talking about. And we did this through bringing on board the associations. So today we have 9 associations that map out the industry in all the various from all the various angles that I just said. In fact, we did the study and found that together the members that these associations represent take up 98% of the job volume and the revenue of the industry. So I do believe that we are very, very closely connected with industry, be it small, medium, large, be it industries of foreign origin or Indian origin, be it our sub-segments of pharma divided into the bulk drugs or the formulations, be it biopharma, be it contract research. Now, the second aspect was that we've always believed that, in particular, very, very strong connect with the top echelons of the industry. The largest of the players is extremely important, because if they join us, then that's, to our belief, the acid test, because they have recognized value and the quality that we bring. And I think that would be a great facilitator for others to join hands.
Okay.
So today, IPA is an association that represents the top 25 players of the pharma industry. And bulk of them are involved with us in every aspect of skilling chain, from skill gap study, QP, curriculum, content development, provision of master trainers, validation of question banks for assessment, apprenticeship, recognition of prior learning, skilling, centers of excellence, hiring of those certified. No aspect of this skilling chain has been left out. There is true depth in this connect that we have. Now, we must ensure that we sort of leverage this industry connect, and take it forward, and so that not just is it a benchmark, but as we even sort of look into the future, that we obtain from this industry what are the changing trends in Industry 4.0, what's the new kind of skill sets that are needed. And we should be sort of changing ourselves rapidly, hand in hand with the industry, so that we are flexible and our QPs, curriculum content, constantly reflect the changing needs of the industry.
Okay, sir.
And in every aspect and every activity that we perform, we must get regular feedback from the industry.
That's good.
So for example, today when we conduct e-modules, we get feedback from various segments and elements, so that we can continuously improve upon these modules.
Yes.
So I trust that should throw light on what I've said. Unless I've missed out some facet, please sort of throw that up and I'll address that.
Okay, no problem, sir. No problem. So the next thing we would like to ask you, as per the recent news in the skill ecosystem, a new phase of PMKVY has been approved by the government, that is PMKVY 3. So what sort of initiatives would be taken by your SSC as far as this news is concerned?
So I think it's important to first recognize that we are at a stage which humanity has never witnessed before. The kind of things that we are going through, never ever did any of our ancestors go through, and hopefully none of the generations will go through that. So it's really sort of placed upon us a pretty sort of amazing responsibility as to what do we make of what's happening around us with this pandemic. And the three things that were important from my perspective, from our perspective, which I shared with our team, and which I believe we are keeping very close eye on and working on, are number one, the recognition, and I think this is probably pretty much by now accepted everywhere, is that there is a new normal.
Yeah.
We may never get back to the way that we were doing things before. And the sooner we accept that, and change our ways of working, the better off we will be.
Yes, sir.
So that's part one. Number two is that I believe that it's no longer survival of the fittest. It's survival of the swiftest. And why do I say that? I say that because in this sort of fast changing scenario, the opportunities that are going to come up are sometimes going to be sort of with a limited time frame. And the ones that are able to capture those quickly are the ones who are best likely to succeed. So I think this is very, very crucial.
Yeah.
And the third, which is linked to these aspects, is how flexible are we? The degree of flexibility. Because as things change, if we are going to be elephants, we are going to be languishing. But if we are going to be cheetahs, because there's going to be limited time frames available and we'll have to quickly change, move fast and grasp things, then we will be, and we'll have to be flexible in this. Spot the target, get it. Spot the target, get it. And be flexible as we select our targets. So flexibility is going to be very, very important. So some of the, in fact, all of the things that we are doing, and I constantly keep sort of encouraging our team that we must lay thrust and focus on these. Now, PMKVY 3,
Yes, sir.
it's around the corner. We don't know the dimensions yet, but whatever are the opportunities it throws up for our sector, we are going to be looking at that with the, or through the prism of what I've just stated. I think the PMKVY 3, this is anybody's guess, is will have to be working within the constraints of the quantum of finance that will obviously be available to the Ministry of Skill Development, and that is obviously going to be in the light of the resources that are obviously needed for fighting the pandemic and all the related actions of the central and state governments, etc. So the priorities are going to be pretty, I think, sharp. I think we will all need to do surgical strikes, and will be called upon to do that. They will be focused on the returnees, the migrant returnees and those states. Now, there we have the challenge because the states in question are UP, Bihar, Haryana, and such like, where it's a big challenge that there is not too much of the skill sciences sector. They don't form the 12 key clusters of activity. So if that's going to be the focus, then how are we going to be coming into play? So we will have to be working very closely with the central and state governments, laying emphasis on the importance of our sector, because I think it's a sector that's in the eye of the storm. It is a sector that will determine the success of how quickly we can fight off the pandemic. It is therefore a very, very high emphasis, high priority sector. Also, the fact that in the current pandemic, it's possibly one of the least impacted and dented. So it provides opportunities.
Yes, sir.
So we do hope that, you know, amongst this entire sort of gamut of challenges and sharply focused activity, which may be constrained and limited due to resources, that we will be able to get the kind of priority and resources that we need from our stakeholders to be able to support the industry in such an important and crucial time. And I would like to state that some of the organizations that are so much in the forefront in fighting the pandemic, and some of the prominent ones are Zydus, IPCA, Serum Institute, Strides, Glenmark, Biocon, to name a few. And we've been working with all of these very closely. And so we have, it's sort of going to be our endeavor to strengthen our connect with this industry and support them in every which way possible. Secondly, we would like to be working very closely with the bulk drug manufacturers. At a time of Atmanirbhar, it has been recognized that India is dependent to the tune of almost 70% of China when it comes to APIs and bulk drugs. And this needs to be changed very quickly. So we are going to be working very closely with the bulk drugs manufacturers through a Bulk Drug Manufacturers Association, which is fortunately part of our governing body. And then we will be obviously launching e-modules and especially focused on the kind of job roles that we believe are going to be crucial and important in the immediate 1 year period, on manufacturing, on quality control, on telemarketing, just to name a few, supply chain, and so on.
Okay, sir. Okay. So, last but not the least, as you are carrying a lot of experience in the same field, we would like to ask you, like, what sort of message you would like to give to the skill industry?
Well, I would like to make you know, one can say numerous things, but I'd like to say two things.
Yeah.
One is something that I've said before, and I can't keep emphasizing enough. To bring the world of academia and industry close together, that is, to my mind, of paramount importance.
Okay.
I do believe that in general in the Indian economy, the two have been working. There are, of course, success examples, but in general, they've been working in silos, and we must break away those silos. bring the two together. And I think our council has taken the lead in bringing Pharmacy Council and industry together. And in the coming year, this will show itself up and it will be, I believe, a true game changer. And I think this implies to the entire skill ecosystem. The second one is that skilling it's a tall mountain. It's a huge task, and all of us, my other skill councils ourselves are embarking on this journey and climbing this tall mountain in the belief that when we get to the top of this tall mountain, that the view will obviously be the best. The steeper the climb, the better the view, as they say. But this is not a climb that any one entity, any one individual can sort of successfully accomplish in the best possible manner alone. It requires tremendous convergence, and every stakeholder, all key stakeholders must come yet closer together to bring about the kind of convergence and synergy that is needed. Then and only then can the scale and speed be optimized. Okay. I think we're very conscious of that. A number of our actions demonstrate the importance we have placed on this, and I think that's something that I would like to highlight, and hopefully it will give a cue or two to rest of my friends and yeah.
Sure, sir. Sure. Thank you so much for sharing your views with us. So, any sort of message you would like to give to the NISARG team?
No, I think you are doing a great job, because I think one of the things about our phenomenal country, of which all of us are so proud of, is that it is so large. And some of the sort of good things that happen, some of the messages that we want to pass on can only be done when people like you play a role in disseminating it.
Yes, sir.
And so I think congratulations to you and your team in coming up and taking this up, so that these key and important messages are disseminated at the fastest possible speed, because that can only be a catalyst in improving things, in speeding up things in the Skill India campaign.
Thank you so much, sir. Your views really matter a lot to us. Thank you so much for sharing the wonderful views with us today.
Thank you. You're most welcome, and look forward to staying in touch with you and your team members.
Yes, sir. Same here. Thank you so much for giving your time today. Thanks a lot.
All the best.
Thank you.
Bye for now.